hungry, Mommy. Me too.
Well, you better get used to it. Democrats took our food.
What's a Democrat?
Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son. You don't say much, do you?
So in just a couple of days, people are about to turn out and vote here in New York City. And it feels good for me to be able to say here in New York City, because what I notice is a lot of people who don't live in New York, a lot of people all around the country are weighing in on New York City politics that they have absolutely nothing to do with. And a lot of them are upset that we're basically about to elect Zohran Mamdani. So the simple fact of the matter is their opinions don't matter. The only opinion that matters is the opinion of the voter that shows up and decides to vote however they decide to vote. And that's basically it. I mean, these people, for whatever reason, they are so emotionally involved in New York City elections that basically they're just losing their minds. And me personally, I'm counting on it. Zohran Mamdani is about to win. And that's the simple fact. Zohran Mamdani is about to win. I think most other people who've been observing this from the outside, I think they understand that simple fact as well, that Zohran Mamdani is about to win. There's nothing they can do about it. And it's funny because I've been watching these pathetic losers over at Fox News, and they've constantly been running these ridiculous on Facebook, they've been running these ridiculous posts, I guess you could call it, because this is not news. This is bullshit. But they've been running these ridiculous posts, just like this one. It says on Tuesday, the prediction market platform Polymarket posted that if Mamdani's chances continue falling at the rate he has past the 24th hour, Cuomo would be the project. These people are stupid. Like, these people are really stupid. Now, here's the thing. What you may or may not know, and you can check it yourself. You don't have to take my advice because it's no longer an opinion. It's a fact. It's a mathematical fact. Early voting is already in. Early voting is basically projecting Mamdani to be the winner. When these people show up on Tuesday to vote for this guy, he's going to win. And that's just it. It ain't nothing you can do about it. But Fox News, what I think is so funny, and I think is kind of insulting to Curtis Sliwa supporters, what I think is kind of insulting, is that Fox News is talking about this as if Sliwa has dropped out. Sliwa has not dropped out. Sliwa is still in the race. So you're like, look at this right here. It says NYC election update from another one from Fox News. So basically, they're putting out all this bullshit, this lies, this conjecture, these lies, conjecture, and rumors. October 29, New York City election update. And they want you to take this shit seriously. That's what's so funny about it. New poll reveals Republicans are rallying to Cuomo. No, they're not. No, they're not. The simple fact is, and I've said this 100 times, they poison the well against Cuomo so thoroughly and absolutely that these people hate Cuomo. I mean, they hate him. Because you got to remember, at the end of the day, Cuomo's still a Democrat. They just want Cuomo because Cuomo's not a Muslim like Mamdani. This is really coming down to racism. That's what this is coming down to. They'll never admit it. They only see, and the sad thing I think about them is that when they get caught with racism, like pure undefined, like for instance, it was like, what, 2 weeks ago? They got caught with their staffers. Oh, I love Hitler. And they're sending back these messages back and forth, these racist, Nazi sympathizing, Nazi upholding messages. They got caught. And even when you catch them Vice President J.D. Vance comes out, oh, well, they're just kids and they didn't know what they were saying. Uh-huh, yeah. So when you catch them, there's always somebody running interception. There's always somebody defending it. That's what's so sad about it. So I just say it like it is. No, these are racists. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. They're racists. The people who are supporting Mamdani are obviously, they are complete. This is kind of like a middle finger to Trump for one. That's part of what this is. Number two, they're disgusted with Cuomo. And furthermore, the Me Too movement is still following Cuomo around. So you can say whatever you want. There's a lot of women who wouldn't vote for Cuomo regardless. They're not voting for Cuomo at all. So the Me Too movement is still following this man. On top of that, but the mistake I would say that they made was they allowed Sliwa to get into the race in the first place. Because, see, Sliwa's a Republican. Sliwa as a mayor in New York City, that's a 0% chance. Now, I understand that you're like, oh, well, Bloomberg was mayor. Rudy Giuliani was mayor. Yeah, but that was different because that was a different time. Since Trump has gotten in, this state has gone completely anti-Republican. No, I shouldn't say this state. The city has gone completely anti-Republican. But guess what? New York City controls New York State's electoral votes. So the bottom line is, these people can be as mad and pissed off as they want, but the simple fact is the bulk of all of the people who live in New York State live inside New York City. That's the bulk of them. There's a large amount in Long Island, which is not considered New York City, but Long Island is basically an urban sprawl. Long Island is another example of racism. It's an example of segregation. If you know anything about the GI Bill, when black soldiers came back from the war, they built Jamaica as a place for blacks to stay, and then they built Long Island, the Levittown. You should look it up because you might not know anything about it. I can give you that. And it was basic. This came down to segregation a long time ago. But here's the thing. Long Island don't control New York City. So you have people who live out in Long Island and they work inside New York City. And every single day, at the moment they can get out of New York City, they're in their cars and they're fighting through hours of traffic trying to get outside the city. So in the morning, now imagine that. In the morning, it takes them more than an hour to drive into the city to a job because there ain't shit out on Long Island. We used to have factories out on Long Island, but then they're gone. Who was it? Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin. I remember when Lockheed Martin used to be right there in, what was it called? What's that area? Not Manhasset, but right before it, I think it was called Great Neck. They're gone. A lot of them went down to Florida. So the long story short is that New York City controls this election. That's the bottom line. This is an election for New York's mayor, for God's sakes. Of course, New York City controls it. But these people pop up and they complain and they argue and like, for instance, they're not only racists, but they're also sexists. Sally McBride is a perfect example of it. I mean, when Sally McBride got in, you had all of these GOP women. Oh, well, I'm taking my gun to the bathroom with me. And I'm like, yo, listen, this person, regardless what you think of them, this person's a congressperson. I'm pretty sure they're not going to try to sexually assault you in the bathroom of the Congress, for God's sakes. But these, oh yeah, if they come in the bathroom, I'm bringing my gun with me. And I was like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to shoot a congressperson? Really? I'm like, but anyway, that's what they are. And they refuse to be called out on it. They refuse to accept it, but that's what they are. I got this big ass television over here. I was thinking about getting a 55-inch computer monitor because I was looking on eBay. And they had this 55-inch Alienware computer monitor. That shit was $4,000, and now it's down to like $1,700 because most people aren't buying computer monitors like that. And I was thinking, a 55-inch monitor, how would that look on my desk? Now, the reason I'm saying that is because this way I could choose whether I want to sit at my computer or sit in front of my television and watch with my 3D glasses when Mamdani wins. Watch these people on the right melting down. because they're talking about trolling libs. My thing is, every now and then the libs troll them back, and it just so happens the libs are trolling them back with these elections. These people hate Ilhan Omar, they hate Rashida Tlaib, they hate this guy Omar Fattah, and the thing about it is they always show their true colors, and they can't help it. They're worse than chameleons because they're not even good at hiding. Like they always show it. They might as well just come out and say what they're thinking because you already know what they're thinking. Mamdani's about to win. What does this thing say? New poll reveals Republicans are rallying to Cuomo. No, they're not. No, they're not. The Republicans, the voters, they still support Sliwa. And I've been talking to some of them, and it seems like they're being lied to. It seems like somebody is spreading fake bullshit that Sliwa has a chance to win. I'm like, yo, guys, I understand that you'll sit up and watch Fox News and it's turning your brains to mush and you're stupid and uneducated, just like Trump said, I love the poorly educated. I understand that. I understand most of you didn't go to college and you're proud of it because you didn't take out any loans and you learned how to weld and all that shit. But guess what, guys? You're being lied to. You're being manipulated. No, the Republican voters do not favor Cuomo. The Republican voters favor Curtis Sliwa. I almost think that nobody even would challenge me on that claim because they know better. They know the Republican voters don't want to vote for Cuomo. They know that. They hate Cuomo. Cuomo killed my grandma and my grandpa by putting them in the COVID home. Because of Cuomo, my grandma's not here no more. Because of Cuomo, my grandpa got COVID. Yeah, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Come on. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. I listen to the same Patriot XM bullshit that you listen to. I listen to that shit too. I know what you're saying. But to lie to these people and to try to make them think that Curtis Sliwa has a chance, all y'all got to do is show up and Curtis Sliwa could take it all. It's like, guys, come on. There is no pathway to victory for Curtis Sliwa. None. In fact, let me tell you something. I am glad that Curtis Sliwa is staying in this race because the last thing I want to see is Cuomo win. I would rather have Mamdani win than Curtis or Cuomo. But the thing about it is I already know Curtis ain't got no chance in hell. It's Cuomo who's the threat. And even he's not even that big of a threat because he's a failed politician. He's a failure. A failure. That's what he is. This man was governor and had to resign. He's a failure. Why would I vote for you for mayor? Go away. Resign. Retire. Go away. You're done. You're done. Now, as far as this guy Mamdani, though, now y'all can say whatever y'all want. Because first of all, as a New Yorker, I already know one way or another taxes are going up. I was looking into this congestion pricing that this came up before. What is it? This came up before Mamdani was even a question. Congestion pricing in Manhattan. Now, you got to understand, these people charge you $9 to drive your car through Manhattan. They charge you $14 to drive a light truck, and they charge you $22 to drive a heavy truck. That's $9 for a regular person with a car. They wanted to charge you $15, but obviously people started protesting that, and they dropped it to $9. $9 is still too goddamn much. So according to the latest data that I looked up, they had raised about $500 million already in this year. And the year's not over. We're in October. October 29th is today. So technically we're in November, but I'll say it's still October. Bottom line is they raised $500 million and the year's not even over yet because they're charging these people per year. If you only had to drive in and out of the city, what was 180 days? That's $1,690 or some shit every year. And they wanted to charge you $15. These people are sick. They claim that pollution is down by 2.5%. They claim that traffic speed started increasing and it increased up to 15%. Yeah, because people couldn't afford to drive the fucking cars. And they also claim that they generated about $500 million up till now, right? So guess what? The simple fact is you're taxing the shit out of these people. And this has nothing to do with Mom Donnie because he hasn't even gotten here yet. They've been taxing the shit out of New Yorkers. And then they want to talk this nonsense. Oh, yeah, well, so many people are leaving New York. Yeah, because you're taxing the shit out of them and they can't afford to live here. That has a lot to do with it. Probably. Maybe the fact that, now see, I've told this, 100 times. I got my second house in 2018. I bought my second house, closed on it Veterans Day 2018. I got in right before, what was that? That was during the Trump economy. And I got, what is it? I got a 30-year fix at a 4.75. And I had put down a significant amount of money. But the bottom line is, that was right before COVID. Well, a year before COVID. It was 2018, right? So you can't buy what I bought no more. Like, you can't get this house no more $300,000. This house right now is worth $600,000. But the crazy thing is that these developers are so desperate to buy properties that if I wanted, I could tell them I want 800 or 900,000 and they'd pay it. I could tell them I want $1 million for this and they would pay it. And I'm not entertaining any offers. I'm not interested in selling any of my property. But the thing about it is, these people are so desperate to buy this place because what they want to do is chop it up and they want to make it two-family or something like that. Or they'll build onto it and they'll make it even bigger. And they'll add as many people into this bastard as they can. And it's crazy to think about the fact that the housing market is such a mess. Right now in New York City, if you were in New York City, you want to get an apartment in New York City, you're talking about $5,000 a month. Now, I have a mortgage that was $1,300 a month. And that's not factoring in the taxes and the insurance. But when I had gotten into the place, I was paying $2,000. I was paying just under $2,000 a month, right? Now, the crazy thing is, I refinanced during COVID and I took years off of the mortgage. Like a lot of people refinance so that they can take cash out. I was like, I'm not touching no cash. I don't want no more loans. I'm refinancing to cut my term down. I pay all of my bills early. It's like whatever the schedule was, the amortization schedule, I pay that shit off early. It doesn't matter what it is, cars, houses, whatever. I pay it off early. So anyway, it's so bad here in New York. The average couple, if they were to try to buy what I have, they'd be paying 2 to 3 times as much as I'm paying right now for it. And yet, when Mom Donnie's running, oh yeah, all these people claiming they're going to leave New York. They're going to leave New York. I'm like, they were leaving anyway. That's not, you're not saying anything. These people couldn't afford to live here in the first place. Most of them moved down to Atlanta. They moved down to Georgia. They moved down to South Carolina, North Carolina. They moved down to Florida. The plan was always to move down to Florida. Their plan was to retire here and move down to Florida. So these people move down to Florida and they think, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to live, my pension's not going to be taxed. I'm going to live down here in Florida. It's a beautiful retirement community and this, that, and other. Yo, New York and California have basically ruined everybody else's real estate market. California did it to Washington State, Oregon, Denver, Colorado, Texas. Texas is damn near turning blue. Right now it's like purple, but it used to be solid red. It ain't solid red no more. And you can see that based on their local elections. But the thing about it is New York did the same exact thing to the East Coast. That was always the plan. Their plan was to tax people out of New York State and have them go to these other states, these red states, and fuck those states up too. So that this way, you wouldn't have to challenge them for their electoral votes. You wouldn't have to challenge them like you right now. The war is about gerrymandering and redlining and all that shit. Well, guess what? If you force enough of these people to leave your state and go to their states and they come there with the same politics, all they're going to do is they're going to change their states from the inside out. And now it's democratic. And that's the important thing. This is a democratic process at work. So bottom line is, never mind Mamdani, they were doing this anyway. Ask the average New Yorker who left the state within the last couple of years. Was Mamdani the reason you left? Obviously it was not. Cuomo was governor. Hochul's governor now. Eric Adams was mayor. Before that, it was Bloomberg. They've been pushing people out of the state for a while. Now, COVID had a lot of people scared, so a lot of people said, yeah, I'm going to buy a place and get the hell out of New York because I don't like the lockdowns, because we had those Democrat-controlled brutal lockdowns. So a lot of people said, no, fuck this, I'm out of here. But they were leaving anyway. That's my whole point. So when I hear Fox News talking that shit, oh yeah, my daddy win, we're leaving. I'm like, okay, no problem. When you leave, I'll buy your house. I will buy your house. Go ahead. What day you leaving? Can I help you pack? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, make the mistake of leaving. See what you gonna find in these other states. They ain't shit in these other states. You go to these other states, most of these people get laid off right now. How about those federal workers over there in Ohio? How they doing? Oh, I'm sorry. They get laid off. How about all them federal workers for the Department of Education? How about all those federal workers who are furloughed right now? How about them, the ones who aren't getting paychecks? Are you starting to see the bigger picture? These people wonder, why is Zora Mamdani winning? Today is October the 29th, right? In just a couple of days, they about to cut these people's food stamps off. They about to cut off Section 8 right before Thanksgiving. The people are literally threatening to rob the goddamn stores. And you wonder why people are willing to vote for a freaking socialist? And here's my thing. Zora Mamdani is a Muslim. Bernie Sanders is Jewish, right? Why is it that nobody is talking about Bernie Sanders' election? Huh? Why is it that when Bernie Sanders is running for re-election, ain't nobody challenging that? Where's everybody challenging? Oh, well, Bernie Sanders gets in. It's the end of the world. It's the end of America. Huh? What? Why isn't nobody challenging Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders said he's a Democrat socialist too. So why is nobody challenging Sanders like that? It's called racism. That's what it's called. Now, a lot of people, oh, well, we got to stop calling people racist. Nah, that's what it is. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and the shit's got web feet and it's got a fucking orange bill and all that shit, guess what? It's a fucking duck, okay? Yeah, I'm going to call it what it is. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to call it what it is. That's what it is. Nobody up there calling up Sanders. When was the last time they called? Oh, yeah, well, you got to stop Bernie Sanders from getting in. Bernie Sanders, he's going to be the end of America. Oh, well, what happened to democracy? Nobody's calling up Bernie Sanders with that. Now, Bernie Sanders, that's the first time I heard of anybody running seriously as a Democrat socialist and winning. Why is nobody questioning old Bernie Sanders? Nobody questioning old Bernie Sanders. What's going on? Huh? What happened? No, what? Who, what, when, where, why, how? Nobody's questioning old Bernie Sanders, but they worried about Mamdani in a state that they don't even live in. Now, what's that about? Well, I think we already know. I don't have to even keep saying it because we already know. We know who these people are. We know what these people are. That's what they are. I guess if Charlie Kirk had lived, maybe Charlie Kirk would be over here crying about Mamdani getting into office. Maybe Charlie Kirk, he'd probably set up a picnic table and he'd be sitting there with his little picnic chair and he'd have a sign on the front of it like the meme. And it's like, yeah, Mamdani's bad for America. Prove me wrong. So this guy is going out into the middle of an open field so that he can argue with people and shit. Yeah, well, that didn't turn out too well. So what is this story? This story is not even really worth reading, but I'm just going to look at it anyway. It says a new poll. Yeah, who did this poll? Anyway, a new poll is out from Quinnipiac University on the New York City mayor race. On Tuesday, Polymarket said Cuomo would win. Nobody cares what you think. The election, if Mamdani's chances fall at the rate that they have. Well, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Who taught you statistics, you morons? When these people show up to vote, The people who want to vote for Mamdani will vote for him. The people who want to vote for Cuomo will vote for him. And the people who want to vote for Sliwa are going to vote for Sliwa. Sliwa is going to spoil any chance that Cuomo could have possibly had. And his chances were really freaking low. Thank you, Curtis Sliwa. Thank you so much, Curtis Sliwa. Because I didn't want to see. First of all, and I'll say it like this: there's a lot of people in my family who want to see Cuomo win. I don't. I really don't. Considering what Cuomo did, most of the real Republicans would say that Cuomo should be in jail. Now, I'll leave that up to the Justice Department because really it doesn't take any skin off my back. My parents are still alive. But based on what he did, there are some people who might say he should be brought up on charges. There are others who might say he shouldn't even be allowed to run. But that's not the democratic process, and most of those people don't even live here, so they ain't got shit to say about it. Bottom line is, Sliwa, thank you, Curtis Sliwa, because you're what's preventing Cuomo from having an absolute chance. And because I agree with Curtis Sliwa. Why should he have to drop out of the race? Why doesn't Cuomo drop out? Maybe it should come down to Sliwa versus Mamdani. I got news for you. Even if it was Sliwa versus Mamdani would still beat him in a landslide. See, the thing about it is these people in the news, they don't want it to be a horse race. That's number one. Number two, a lot of them are racist, as you can see, especially on Fox News. They don't want this to be a runaway horse race. They don't want that. But guess what? That's exactly what this is. So they can try to pretend that it's not. They go, oh, yeah, but he's close. Oh, he's right on his tail. No, he's not. No, he's not. Cuomo's not on his tail. The best data that I've seen shows that Mamdani's like a solid 15 points above freaking Cuomo. Sliwa is going to suck up just enough of the vote that Cuomo loses. And I agree with Sliwa. Why should he have to drop out? Why can't Cuomo drop out? But most people who understand New York politics already understand. They're like, wait a minute, that's the dumbest shit you could do. Nobody's voting for fucking Sliwa, or at least not enough people to win. Yeah, he might get Staten Island. He might get some of the people in Manhattan. He might get some of Queens. But the bottom line is, it's not in the cards. Sliwa's a joke. He's a bad joke. He's a joke. So the last thing New Yorkers want is anything that even looks or sounds like Donald Trump. That's why Donald Trump couldn't even win New York City. He couldn't even win New York State. Hillary won New York State. Kamala won New York State. As bad an option as I think Kamala was, Kamala won New York State. Trump talking all that big bullshit all over the country about how great he is and everything. He couldn't even win his own freaking state. What does that tell you? Now, Trump appealed to these people in another way. Need I mention what that way was? I think it's obvious that exactly what I'm going to say. But long story short, that's where you are. They're about to cut these people's EBT off. They're about to cut these people's Section 8 off. And it's going to hit a lot of people. White, black, Hispanic. It's going to hit a lot of people. I've never taken a dime of that shit. I've never taken no Section 8. I've never taken a food stamp. I don't know what a food stamp looks like. All I know is they got these cards that are called EBT cards. I say that it stands for Eat Better Tomorrow. Some people say it stands for Eat Better Today, but the real thing is it's supposed to be like electronic benefits transfer or some shit. I don't know. But the bottom line is, doesn't hurt me. Now, I will say this. It does affect me in the fact that if these people are hungry and shit, they might try to steal my car. They might try to like do home invasions and shit. But don't worry. I've got something right here. That'll prevent me from, having to worry about home invasions. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but I want you to just imagine that it's a bird that is the symbol of this country, and imagine that bird is in a very dry and arid part of the country. So you say it's a very dry and arid part of the country. It's a biome, a very dry and arid biome, coupled with a bird who's the national symbol of the country. I ain't even going to say what it is. But the bottom line is, I ain't worried about it. So what was it that Frank Rizzo said? He said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. That's what he said. So anyway, that's this story. It's a stupid story, so I'm not even going to bother reading any more of it. Let's go on to something more important. There are a couple of videos that I made a while back. And because I don't delete any of my videos, they're easy to go back and look. I was telling people to buy Nvidia a long, long time ago. There were people who I knew who, were into buying stocks and everything. And I was like, yo, listen, y'all need to buy Nvidia. Did I know Nvidia was going to rise as fast and as powerfully as it did? No, I did not. But I knew Nvidia had something special going. Nvidia was at the top of its tier making video game technology for computer. Now, well, it's more than just video games. The mere fact that they've been able to convince these young men with credit cards to buy video game graphics cards for $2,000 when they don't really need them. I was like, you know what? Nvidia's got something. Nvidia's got something bigger than Apple's got. The mere fact that Apple and Nvidia were able to do that, I was like, you know what? Well, we'll just invest in all of them. Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia. Microsoft's got Xbox, Apple's got iPhone, and so forth and so on. I was telling people, you need to buy Nvidia. Now, there were some people I talked to. I ain't going to name names. Oh, well, it doesn't really fit my investment profile and all that shit. I was like, listen, I don't know what your investment profile is, but I'm telling you now, you need to buy it. Well, I'll think about it, but it really doesn't fit my investment profile. I'm used to investing into these other, and I was like, listen, just do it. It's just like when I told y'all to buy Google and Amazon. They did their stock splits simultaneously. First of all, I'll say it like this. I've never met a stock split that I didn't like. I'll say it like that. Usually, I buy the stock splits regardless. I'll put a little bit of money into the ones that I'm not crazy about, but for the most part, I'm buying a stock split, and I put some decent money in there. There's some people I tried to tell everybody about Micron. I was telling people about Micron when it was $10. What's Micron now? Oh, gee, let's see. Oh, 226. Oh, yes. Well, let's wait. Hold on. Let's not get off track. Today, Nvidia became the first $5 trillion market capitalization company. Nvidia booms Fed. Inside news. The Federal Reserve claimed that they're signaling a rate cut, that they're going to do a rate cut, right? But we already knew it was coming. In my opinion, the mere fact that with Trump in office, we're now at $38 trillion. And basically by the end of his term, we're going to exceed $40 trillion. We're probably going to exceed $45 trillion because this is only the first year this guy's been in office and we're already at 38. So my thinking is it's possible the Federal Reserve may have to keep cutting rates and we may have to basically go back into quantitative easing. Now, a lot of people seem to forget the problem with the interest rates are that the government has to pay that back. And now it's becoming so expensive to service that Trump was basically threatening the Federal Reserve. Oh, yeah, you don't need to cut interest rate, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to fire you. I'm going to go after Lisa Cook. I'm going to make up some bullshit about her third house that she was living in, whatever. So Trump, what he wanted to do was force the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates so that the United States of America could refinance its debt. That's what that really came down to. I've been saying that all along. Long story short, yeah, they signaled a rate cut, but for the most part, the rate is still going to be between 3.5 and 4. The problem is the housing market is already messed up, and it's messed up to a point where most of the people who have houses, they can't sell because moving somewhere else would be it would be unaffordable for them to move anywhere else. So they're not going to sell what they have because what they have is an asset. But then on top of that, they not only can't they sell, but they'd be fools to sell because if they're sitting on a 3% or less, their house is an asset that they need to keep. Worse yet, if they have kids, they're not going to want to sell because they're going to want to keep whatever they have for their kids. because they know that their kids are probably never going to be able to buy anything. They're never going to be able to buy property. What did they say? They said you'll own nothing and you'll be happy? No, no, no. I say you'll own nothing and you'll be angry. So right now, it doesn't matter what kind of house you have. As long as that bitch is standing and it's got windows and it's got heat and water and electricity, that is an asset. A lot of these people can't move. A lot of these people, some of these people, especially these boomers, the baby boomers, a lot of them are going to be forced to take money out of their equity simply to pay for their end of life care. A lot of them have cancer. A lot of them have sicknesses. A lot of them are going to have to take money out of their equity because their retirement is nowhere near enough. Their retirement pension is nowhere near enough to support them in their old age. So the reality is the housing market is still going to be at a standstill. At this point, it doesn't matter where the Fed cuts rate. It doesn't matter. The reason why is simply because the inventory has dried up. So here's the problem. If you cut rates, then that means that people are actually going to raise the asking price of their house if they're selling. Because some people are selling because they want to get the hell out of wherever they are. Like the people who claim that they're going to move because Mom Donnie is about to win. Yeah, well, I'll be watching your house for that for sale sign. And if the numbers are right, I'll be buying a third house if the numbers are right. And what I'll do is I'll put one of my houses for the collateral. I'll take out the cash from one house and I'll put that shit into your house. Guess what? These people are bullshit. They're not going anywhere. The people who claim they're moving were moving anyway. Because they were moving. I know people talking that shit. Oh, yeah, I'm moving down to Florida. We got a nice retirement community and you could do shuffleboard and all. I was talking to one of them the other day. Guess what? They were moving anyway. So for them to, oh, yeah, well, Mom Donnie was, you were going to move anyway. What are you talking about? I heard you last week, Wednesday. I already know your plan. You told us. Anyway, bottom line is this. I'll be watching your house for the for sale sign. And if the numbers are right, I'm going to buy your house. So I'll help you pack your shit to get the fuck out. I'll help you. I'll come over there and I'll get some garbage bags and I'll help you pack up. They ain't going nowhere. Trust me, they ain't going nowhere. Unless they have to. If they have to sell because they have no choice, that's the only way they leave. And they ain't going nowhere. It's just that simple. They ain't going nowhere. So long story short, Federal Reserve cutting these rates. It might have an effect on the car market. But the problem is you got so many people laid off, furloughed. You got so many people right now with job insecurity. I don't even really think that lowering the interest rates a little bit of a quarter of a point, a little smidgen of a point, I don't even think that's going to affect the car market. I really don't. I really don't. The repo man is rolling around here. I seen the repo man repoing cars. Every day I drive around. Like sometimes I be doing like fun drives, just driving around. I'm seeing the repo man. Repo man is just driving around, snatching up people's cars. There's channels like Hemi Muscle, and there's a couple other channels where they do these videos where they show the repo man coming to get these people's cars. I haven't gotten into that because, to tell you guys honest truth, I just don't have the energy to even think about it. Bottom line is I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it every day. So the thing about it is there's a lot of people who have job insecurity, furloughed, laid off. They losing their shit. We got Section 8 about to end in like 2 or 3 days. EBT is about to get cut off from thee. Guess what? Ain't nobody buying no fucking car. How you gonna buy a car and you can't even afford to eat? How you gonna buy a car when you ain't got no apartment or house to park it in front of? Yeah, we're in for some rough times. This right here, and the estimates say that it's about 45 million Americans. 45 million Americans at risk right now. 45 million. And as they point out, a large percent of them are children, but there's about 45 million Americans at risk right now. Now, if they say 45, I'm rounding up to 50 million. Because if there were 45 out of 350 million Americans, I would say, nah, there's probably 50 million. Because you're looking at the people well, first of all, government lies about most of the numbers. So whatever they say, I'm adding something to that. But they lie. You seen him. When Trump doesn't like the numbers, what does he do? He fires you and says, yeah, find me somebody who will give me better numbers. And the next person, because they're in fear for their job, obviously they fudge that shit as best they can. They bring up some bullshit that Trump holds up. Hey, look at this. I'm doing great. Look at this market. I'm doing great. Everything's going great. It's like, come on, man. We're not fooled, man. You fired the last guy. What are you talking about? No, you're not doing great. You just fired the guy who told you the truth. What are you talking about? So anyway, long story short, I don't think that these interest rate cuts are going to really do much to the market. What I can say, my portfolio is a booming. It's a booming. And I'm going to keep hodling because the way I see it, I'm waiting to see Dow 50,000. Because by the time Dow gets to 50,000, oh, your boy Big Truck going to be up. It's like if I want to go right now, but if I wanted to cash out my portfolio and go buy one of them electric Escalades, which I wouldn't do, but I could do it. Oh yeah, I could do it. Oh, absolutely I could do it. There's certain cars that are on the market. If I really wanted, I could cash out my Nvidia. I could go buy them shits cash. There's no fucking way in hell I would do that shit. I'm a hodl. I'm a keep hodling. Keep hodling, holding on for dear life. And my retirement's coming. And what did I tell you? When I retire, I'm gonna be on the beach in one of them third world countries. I'm gonna find me the poorest country in that hemisphere. I'm gonna be right up in there with the poorest country. Got that pension coming, Social Security coming. I'm gonna have me a wife 1/3 my age. I don't know what her name gonna be, but it's gonna be something bubbly and cute. Bottom line is, she gonna be running around with dirty feet. Oh, honey, husband, would you like me to rub your back? I'd be like, absolutely, dear. Yes, I would love my back rubbed. Oh, husband, would you like me to give you buko juice? You want me to feed you? Yes, I would absolutely love that. Thank you, dear. You're so kind. Much better than the women in America, because they don't feed you the buko juice, or at least they don't do it without cheating on you or divorcing you and taking half your shit. But anyway, I'm gonna be there on the beach. I have no aspirations beyond being on the beach. I'm gonna raise my kids in a nice, safe country, unlike America, where the kids literally go to school and kill each other daily, or shoot up the classroom or whatever it is. Nope. I'm gonna be there in a nice, safe, quiet country with my passport hanging around my neck like a gold chain. And getting the buko juice, getting the back rubs. They got the coconut oil. Yes, honey, put more coconut oil on your hands. Yes, I want you to rub right here. Yes, right there. Because it hurts. It hurts daddy if you rub right here. Right here. And she going to rub with the coconut oil. I'm going to have back rubs all day long. For these people who are stuck here in America on the plantation, they're going to work till they're dead. They're going to be working them. You know how they say working your fingers to the bones? No. You're going to work your entire body to the bone. And you're going to die here. Forgotten. And when you die, they're just going to replace you with some other loser. They're going to replace you with some other EBT card recipient who needs money. And I just refuse to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. When you see these people retire, they got to go, oh, well, I got to go back to work because my daughter's in school. What? So wait a minute. You're telling me you're letting your daughter take out the big-ass liberal arts, worthless college loans, and you're paying for? Man, you're a dummy. I would be right there in one of them poor-ass countries, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Bali, Laos, whatever it is. And my kids are going to go to local schools. And if I want, I don't even think I really want them to come back here to America. I mean, what are they teaching your kids? They don't teach your kids shit. They don't even teach you which bathroom you're supposed to use, for God's sakes. They don't know if you're a boy or a girl. You can't get these professors to tell you how many genders there are. Why would I want my kids to come here? I'm going to have my kids go to one of them schools over there, one of them local schools, where their tuition is less than the price of my pension check. I'm going to pay that shit off, no debt. My kid, it's going to be Southeast Asia most likely. So my kids are going to learn math better than you and your kid. So when my kid learn their math, they're going to be mathematicians. And that's it. I have no other plans. I have no other aspirations than that. I have nothing. I've got nothing. Because I see people, oh, yes, well, when I retire, I'm going to go into philanthropy. What? I'm going to be on a beach staring at sunsets and sunrises and my feet in the sand. What is it? In a couple, not too long, 240 something days, I'm gonna be on that plane, business class, to go to Vietnam, Cambodia. I'm going to Nam. That's right, I'm going to Nam. And I'm going to be doing scouting to see what's the best place to retire. Where's the best place to retire? Where can I have a condo like I have in the Philippines? Because I don't really talk about that, but I have a condo in the Philippines that I rent out, Airbnb. And I know the first thing you'd be like, oh, well, you can't own the land there. You're right, I can't own the land. But I have somebody else running it for me, and they get some money out of it. But the bottom line is you can have a condo, $500 a month, that got like 3 or 4 pools outside. I don't know if you watch my videos, but I made videos of a place that I'm talking about. I don't really talk about it because I haven't been back there in a while. Bottom line is, I make some money off of that. Vietnam's even cheaper. Cambodia is even cheaper than Vietnam. That's where I'm going. So when I'm retired, you know what I don't have to worry about? I don't have to worry about people running up and pushing me onto the subway tracks. I don't have to worry about some kid getting angry and shooting up something with the AR. I don't have to worry about I don't have to worry about somebody trying to snatch my car from me, someone to push me out of the way and take my Hellcat. I don't have to worry about somebody snatching the rims off my Honda Accord. Y'all stay right here on the plantation. You'll stay right here. I give you a choice. You either stay on the plantation or you get your passport and you follow me. And if you don't want to follow me, that's fine. The plantation needs you. They need you here. They absolutely need you here. So let's see. Crypto fell. Gold dropped below $4,000, but we already know gold is going to keep on doing better. So the governments are betting on gold because you got to understand, America wants you to buy cryptocurrency. Donald Trump's son, Eric, was on one of these channels. I think it was the Iced Coffee Hour with Stephen Graham, or Graham Stephen, whatever his name is. So anyway, he's up there talking about how great Bitcoin is and buying crypto and all that. Guess what? Some of the firms that invest in crypto on behest of Donald Trump, they lost a lot of money. And I think I posted in my community chat, they lost a lot of money. How's Melania coin doing? How's Trump coin doing? Yeah, exactly. They lost a lot of money, billions of dollars just evaporated. America wants to back its money with nothing. That's the reason why we're in the state that we're in right now, with running inflation. The other countries, the BRIC nations, China, Russia, they want to back their currency with gold. They want to have if you look it up, they have a Shanghai gold reserve. They want to back their future currency with gold. That's what they want to do. Now, when you really think about it, it comes down to who do you think is right? Do you think you want to bet on America running up debt, running up inflation? Or do you want to bet on these other nations that are developing? That's the question. Because I can already tell you, the mere fact that you got so many Americans who feel that they need to move out of America in order to comfortably retire tells you that there's something seriously wrong. I already know I want to move out. I already know. As soon as I got that money right with that pension and the Social Security and all that shit, I'm gone. But the bottom line is I'm going to rent out my property here to some poor schlub who needs a place to live. They can pay the utilities. They can pay the repairs and all that shit. I'm out of here. Bottom line is, who's right? And I'd rather be on a currency backed by gold. Honestly, I'd rather be on a gold-backed currency than to be on Trump coin or Melania coin. It's up to you. You can choose what to do. I've put together gigantic portfolios with dividend-paying stock. Now, the problem is that those dividend-paying stocks are still based in, multinational, super-rich American companies. So the issue ultimately comes down to when the dollar goes down, or if there's a dollar crisis, then, God knows what's going to happen to those companies. But bottom line is, if they become not profitable and they drop their dividend, I'm just going to sell, and that's it, and move on, take my money elsewhere. Foreign dividend-paying stocks might also be the way you want to go. You might want to buy foreign energy companies, oil companies, foreign energy and oil companies. You might want to buy foreign banks, big banks, the really big ones, not those little regional banks, but those big banks. Long story short, that's my plan. I ain't got no aspirations. I got no dreams. I got no bucket list. I've already done everything I wanted to do. And that's my dream. That's it. That's it. At this point, I'm only looking towards retirement. And every day I'm counting down towards retirement. That's it. So, that's where we are. That's where we are. My oil stocks are doing great. I didn't say anything about these credit card stocks, but the thing about it is they're up from where I bought them. Like I've already doubled or tripled my money on my credit card stocks. Goldman Sachs and Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Capital One Financial. No, I'm already up on those. So even if it's in the red right now, most likely that's because the Fed cut rates and people reacted to it by a sell-off. But energy is still doing fine. I'm still getting my Sunoco, Exxon, Chevron. I'm still getting all my dividends. That's what I'm talking about. And I want to keep on getting all those dividends when I'm retired in a beach in Bali or Thailand or Philippines, whatever it is. So that's my plan. That's it. That's all I can say. I know some people, oh, yes, well, when I retire, I'm going to help disabled children learn to paint. I'm like, okay, well, you have fun on the plantation. You have fun. Have fun. Enjoy. Sounds great. Sounds like you'll be giving a lot back to society. Oh, well, when I retire, I got to keep working, because my son is going to college in Czechoslovakia. Really? Your son is going to Czechoslovakian college? And didn't get a scholarship? Oh, okay. Well, you have fun with that. You stay right here on the plantation. You stay right here. Well, my daughter, I would have left New York a long time ago, but my daughter, she's going right here to school, and it's cost me $44,000 a year. Oh, okay. Yeah. You have fun. You stay right here on the plantation. Yep. You stay right here because they need you. They need you. You stay right here. Oh yeah, well my son is getting married and lives in my basement with his new wife. So I'm not going anywhere. I can't retire right now because I got to pay their bills because after all my house not paid for. I got to pay that. Oh, okay. You stay right here on the plantation. You stay right here. You stay right here. Oh, I gotta keep working because, my daughter just had a baby and, she's not married and, the boy, he doesn't do nothing. You stay right here. When I'm on that plane, 30,000 feet, business class, and sipping up all that damn champagne, drinking it all up. Because when I get this champagne, you know what I do? I say, listen, I want you to bring me this vintage and I want you to bring me this other one. I get 2 glasses at a time. And that's when I'm not pouring it myself because, when you're in the lounge, you can pour it yourself. I tell people, listen, I want this and I want that and I want this other thing over here. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Yes, absolutely, sir. Uh-huh. That's right. Yeah, go get it. And you'll be on the plantation. I'll be at 35,000 feet, business class, on my way to Nam or Bali or Cambodia, whatever it is. I don't know. But that's it. That's what I'm talking about. You got to plan now. You see, a lot of y'all kids, y'all didn't learn those little nursery rhymes. You remember the 3 little pigs? There was like one pig who built, they said the big bad wolf is coming, right? The big bad wolf being like a really fucked up economy. But anyway, they said the big bad wolf's coming. There was one little pig, he built his house out of straw. Big bad wolf blew that shit over in a second and then ate that bastard. The second little pig, he built his house out of twigs. Big bad wolf ate that motherfucker because he blew his house right over. But the third little pig, he was the smart one. He built his house out of bricks and he kept an AR-15 right next to his door. Well, the wolf came after that third little pig. Nobody's seen that wolf in months.
Lord have mercy. Somebody pray for Pastor. He fell into temptation line.
How am I supposed to get a job when I got to take care of all my babies? It's the taxpayer's job to make sure I can focus on being a good mother.
Since they finna take away our food, we need to take back what's ours. Let's go. They wanted us hungry. They forgot who we are.
Shaniqua's Loot in theaters this spring.
Did your Doge check come yet?
Not yet, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll probably come tomorrow.
It's called trickle-down economics. We give our money to the billionaires, they work their magic and multiply it, then one day it comes back to us.
Y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying for none of this shit. I got babies at home that gotta eat. You think I'm just gonna leave my cart here? Hell no. I ain't paying nothing. I'm walking out with it.
Transaction declined.
What? Let me try it again.
Why isn't this thing working?
It says the account's been canceled. Maybe try calling the number on the back.
There's money on it.
Get me the manager now.
We're live outside the Walmart on South Oaks. They cut the food stamps this morning. It's looking like Black Friday in reverse out here.
EBT lives matter. That bag mine, sis. Let go. I saw it first.
Yo, this is Jamal Brooks, Channel 12 Action News, live in the Eastview Walmart parking lot where, whoa, things have gone completely left since the food stamp cuts were announced. We still live. They cut the stamps this morning. The whole lot just exploded. I'm trying to save my feet out here. World Star, save the rotisserie. Go, go, go. We got folks jumping in cars, food flying everywhere. Look at this. Don't try my waffle.
Everyone's gone. The snacks are gone. Even the clearance rack is gone.
Ain't no rollback no more.
This used to be the land of plenty. Now,
We back, baby. EBT Unlimited.
Channel 12 exclusive, the bougie rebuild. After months of empty aisles, the doors are open and the seafood is stocked.
I got the big pieces this time.
To be continued.